For iMedia Connection, I'm Bob Garfield, and here we are back in the lounge. We're lounging again. Here we are in the lounge, this time with Joseph Dumont. Joey is a partner and really chief rainmaker for Questus, the digital agency. Joey, good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Okay, so here's what I want to talk to you about. We're at an iMedia Connection event.
Right.
Never mind where. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
And all around us are sellers selling their asses off. And they're talking about leveraging their platforms, and there's a whole lot of leveraging going on. I've never seen so much leverage since the pyramids were built. And, and I don't know whether I'm more overwhelmed or just skeptical, because everything sounds so special during the elevator pitch. And I wonder, I guess what I'm asking you, the consummate sales guy, whether the sales is actually, all the selling is getting in the way of the actual communication? Is that a possible thing? That it's just all talk and it's like, yeah, right, you're a seller, bye.
Right. No, it's a good point. I think that depending on which conference you're going to, if it's a big conference and they have thousands of people, it's a little more taxing on me, you know, as a partner at an agency, because they're trying to come to me and say, hey, we got the secret sauce and we're going to change your world. We're going to make your brand stand up and cheer and everything's going to be great. I think that over a period of time, you kind of learn to suss out what's good, buzzwords. You know, we always make fun of buzzword bingo, and you know, if they come up and throw out 6 buzzwords, you're like, all right, you know, that's not going to work. But if they actually say, hey, I have an idea, this is what it is, I know you, as an example, Joey, I know you work with this brand. And because of that, I've actually said, hey, this is something that I think I can actually put to you that would be effective immediately. That's a neat approach for a young salesperson to come up and talk to me. And if that happens, then I can call that.
I love this. You know why? Because what you're talking about is sort of, you're reminding us all that sales was really sort of like the original social network.
Yeah.
That it's all about what? Relationships.
Exactly.
And you know, maybe as people try to explain the reason social works as a marketing tool is for the very reason sales has always worked, thanks to the likes of you. You get out there and you meet people, and then you earn their trust. Yeah. And then you know. Yeah,
and then you close them. Yeah. Well, one of my first bosses actually told me, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, right? So listen. And that's what we try to do, the same thing with our clients. So you go into a client, and if you say, I have all this, and you don't even know necessarily what they mean or what they need, that's a problem. So what we actually try to do, for me specifically, and my BD guys, is that we want to have someone that presents a solution that is effective for us and our need for our brand. And that's, I think, the neat thing about trying to, you know, call all the different people that are trying to sell you.
Okay, so all of the previous conversation leading up to this, and I've been just dying to ask you about this, sure, you know, since you sat down, the Chrysler tweet.
Yeah. That's a great one.
Chrysler hires a social media agency to do tweets and to build trust and cultivate relationships. Yeah. And one of their junior employees accidentally sends out a tweet under Chrysler's account instead of his own personal one, right. So that's a story. And he observes, you know, kind of sardonically, that Detroit's supposed to be the motor city, and nobody here knows how to blanking drive,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's brilliant.
It's a wonderful observation.
Yeah.
And so naturally, his employers fire him, and Chrysler and cuts its contract with the vendor because, God forbid, someone in social media representing a company should talk like another actual human being.
Right.
When you read that, what was your reaction?
It was unfortunate in the sense that it's a big corporation and they have these rules, right? So it's almost like a profanity scan. You're like, we can't have anybody say that word. This kid was 28. He was excited. It was a fun tweet. It's one of those commercials. As soon as I saw that, I was reminded of the commercial where the guy actually replies to all, and then his buddy goes, dude, you replied to all. And he literally runs around on his bike and he starts smacking out of everyone's hand. Oh, I can't say that. But it was funny because you're like, everyone's had that moment where they press reply to all or they send, and you're like, oh my God, he did that. And you're like, okay, for me, if it was one of our guys, The only reason I would have been sad was because the large brand that is paying our agency, umpteen $1 million. And if you're an agency at Chrysler, it's not like a project-based, it's not a $50,000 gig. It's a big gig. And so the unfortunate part for me was that that young man did one innocent thing and got nailed for it. And the agency paid for it, and everyone in that agency paid for it. That was sad. So I thought the whole thing was sad.
That's the wrong answer, Joey. I'm going to give you the right answer, and you tell me why I'm wrong.
All right.
They should have given the guy a raise.
Yeah.
Alone among the tweets that Chrysler sent out to all the people who, for whatever reason, were following them because they have an affinity with Chrysler and are trying to build a relationship with the brand they care about. Here's a tweet that suddenly has just a molecule of human reality to it, and it's considered, and it's immediately expunged because it's just too real. Really? And why? Because it conflicted with the theme of the advertising campaign, which was this hagiographic portrait of Detroit, which is a super irony because the campaign is all about how gritty and real Detroit is.
And Eminem is a spokesman.
And Eminem, who is the most profane man in the music industry at the moment, maybe, and yet the one F-bomb is too much. Isn't that missing the whole point?
Yeah.
And isn't it contrary to the very thing you've been telling me about building relationships and sales?
And it's that same thing when you proctor data. So if you're having that two-way conversation and you proctor that out, same thing. You lost the authenticity. And that's a huge problem. And to your point with Eminem, that guy is a linguistic genius, and he comes out and does things with profanity that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And so you're like, okay, it's not a matter of like, I wouldn't have fired him, if he was one of our gang, but I still would have got fired, right? Our agency would have been asked unceremoniously to leave, and that would have sucked.
So next time you go for a piece of business for, with the gigantic marketer like Chrysler, do you ask for a different set of rules to accommodate exactly this kind of thing?
I think you almost have to, right? There's certain things that I think that stuff has to come through for the people that you're trying to get and capture and engage with and have passion about your brand.
In fact, let me put it to you this way. You're a salesman. What if they took the dirty joke out of your portfolio?
I couldn't close a spring-loaded door.
And there you go. Joey, good to see you.
Thanks, man.
Joey Dumont is a partner for Questus, the full-service digital agency. For iMedia Connection, I'm Bob Garfield. This is my house. You got to go.